Off segment under the big straw hat this week, Bernie. Let's talk about Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun tested positive at the beginning of the postseason for a banned substance, according to Major League Baseball. It is unclear when the results of that test came in, but he was suspended after the postseason. He, of course, led the Milwaukee Brewers to a division championship and to the playoffs. He was the National League MVP. Of all the guys that have tested positive since baseball has been testing since 2005, while Manny Ramirez may have been a bigger name, this is the biggest name in a lot of ways. He's the reigning MVP. He's only 28 years old. Some of the other nuts and bolts of this are that in January, he's going to appeal. According to a New York Times article, a very well-written one, 12 of the 40 players that have tested positive since baseball started this have appealed, but none of them have won their appeal, according to a source. What's your take on the Ryan Braun story so far, Bernie?
Well, Butch, it's a very, very, very sad story. I can't emphasize enough how upset I am about this entire story. I believe that a person is innocent until he's proven guilty. In Braun's case, here's what really bothers me. This was leaked to ESPN by someone, and that is not fair. It is not right. Braun had not been prepared for the public to find out about this. This should have been a very, very private matter until it was released by MLB. Now, whether he did this, whether he didn't do this, he's got an elevated level of testosterone. What that means, Butch, is he's one heck of a man, you know?
Well, wait a minute. Let me go to the leak. Let's stay on the leak, which is what you have a problem with. Do you have a problem with who leaked it? Do you have a problem with ESPN, or do you have a problem with MLB?
No, I have no problem with MLB. I have no problem with ESPN. I have a problem with whomever leaked it. And where they came from, I have no idea. It could be the testing company. It could be anyone. But I just don't think that's right. And I try to put myself in Ryan Braun's position. How would you like to be, driving down the road, and then all of a sudden you hear this, and you know it happened because you've been working on it with your agent and with Major League Baseball, and all of a sudden it's on the airwaves, and you are not prepared to respond to it. That day will come, but it hasn't come yet.
Let me disagree with you a little bit, or let me put the blame in a place where I want to put it. I'll put it on MLB. They tested him before the playoffs here. I'm not sure when they got the results. I'm going to take a guess and venture that they got the results of his test before the playoffs were over, before the World Series was won. I don't blame them if that's the case. I'm taking that leap that they didn't want to announce that their reigning National League MVP tested positive for a banned substance. But this is part of the risk you take, Bernie, if you want to play that PR game. If you want to try to keep that information covered for a month or so, I'm sorry, I'm not going to blame somebody who found out that information. Now, if somebody leaked it out, I understand your nefarious concerns about that because there's all kinds of things at stake. But Major League Baseball is partly at fault here. Be timely with it. Announce it when it happened, once you got the information.
Butch, I think you make a very, very good point. And I can't argue too much with it. But here's what really bothers me. It bothers me that we have lost the respect for human beings. Some people have lost the respect that you do things properly. I don't blame ESPN. If you get a scoop, you run with it. But I do blame the people that are in the know, who are sworn to secrecy, who let this stuff out. It's just like the negotiations that happen in players' contracts. Unless I'm in the room and part of the negotiations, I have no knowledge of this. And I shouldn't have any knowledge. I can speculate. But these people were in the room, they knew what was going on, and someone told a news outlet that he had tested positive. That's wrong.
All right, well, wait a minute. Wait a minute now, Bernie. You've always said to me to challenge you. You've always said you like it when I come at you, so I'm going to come at you, my friend. You sound like the old school apologist here. Not once in this discussion so far have you put any blame whatsoever on the guy who tested positive for a banned substance.
Wait, Butch. Let's wait until it's proven. Let's wait
No, wait a minute, my friend. He tested positive for a substance. Let's be clear. He hasn't done steroids. That's the accusation that the public will make. But he's tested positive for a substance that baseball deems banned on their list. I mean, he did something wrong here.
I'll say that when I know that. Right now, the test could have been wrong. He has an appeal process. when the appeal process is over and he is suspended, your Bernie will be the first to tell you, Butch, that he deserves everything.
All right. So you don't want to rush to.
It's done.
I got you. You don't want to be the one to rush to judgment. Let everybody else do it. All right, I'm with you.
I will do that with anyone, Butch. I'll do that with anyone.
Okay, but
I just think it's right.
But again, when in the blame of right or wrong and in the debate about rushing to judgment, I mean, let's be clear. I'm hard on Major League Baseball. I want them to do some things right. Well, they've made a list of banned substances. Manny's banned substance, supposedly he was pregnant. It was a women's fertility drug. I mean, if we want to argue about some of the substances that are there, which I've heard players actually make that argument. Hey, I actually take this thing, it helps me work out, and it's on baseball's list. It shouldn't be on there. I know how the Red Sox work because I've been in their clubhouse. They have an approved list of supplements that you can use that they know don't have ingredients that'll make you test positive. So the player needs to bear some blame here before the appeal process. What he did was test positive for a substance that he should have known is banned.
Right. And here's the thing, Butch, and I don't disagree with you, okay? On the surface, I don't disagree with you. If a player is taking anything, ingesting anything into their body that they have a question about, pick up the phone and check it out. That's what the people are there for. He's a phone call away from you're okay or you're not okay. All that being said, and I am very hard on drugs, believe me. You know, I hate them. They changed our game. They almost ruined the game. But let me just say that I have faith in Ryan Braun. I have been around this guy. I know the type of guy he is. I just want to wait, and that's all I'm saying. I want to wait until his appeal is over. Then I'll be the hardest on him. I'll be tougher on him than you will be. But I still want to wait.
All right.
There could be something amiss here.